James Wekesa, Chief Commercial Officer, WIOCC, is on stage as well. I'm looking for Amit Pathak from YahClick, Regional Manager for YahClick is up here. And do we have Emmanuel Luanda? Yes, Emmanuel Luanda is also here, HOD Network Performance from Vodacom, Tanzania. So we heard a lot of discussion this morning on the different formats of networks, satellite, landline, and so on. We're going to hear more of that in this panel. So please put together your hands for a round of applause for Juanita Clark. And
so, welcome everyone. This is the day is almost over. Just a warm welcome to our dignitaries as well. And the regulator joined us this afternoon as well. So now we're going to ask for everything on this panel. Because will somebody make notes of what we want? So our panel this afternoon is to talk about network diversity, and I think we started that conversation a little bit this morning, like, just focusing a little bit on the different kind of technologies and, what is it that's going to take us into the future? What is it that, we need to do to make sure that we really connect Africa? I just need to find my notes quickly. Sorry, guys. But before we do that, let me take a moment and ask all our panelists to just introduce themselves. Amit, we're going to start on the far left there with you.
Thank you, Juanita. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Amit Pathak, and I am the Regional Manager for YahClick for East Africa. YahClick, as you may know, is a high-throughput Ka-band service. It's a subsidiary of YahSat Group. YahSat is a Abu Dhabi-based global satellite operator. We cover Africa through two satellites of ours, Ka-band satellite, AY2 and AY3. All Ka-band, from North Africa to South Africa, we cover complete Africa. As YahClick, we cover Africa in two segments, we call it. It's a consumer broadband segment and enterprise segment, all across our Ka-band services. So consumer, when we say it, we have data rates up to 25 by 6 Mbps, sub $50 plans per month. Enterprise, we cater to cellular backhaul to the MNOs. We have banking customers. So that's what the bespoke solutions are, basically the enterprise segment for us. So that's about YahClick. We have around 20,000 sites installed as on date, and we operate Africa through our 60+ partners that we have in African countries. Thank you.
Hello. Thanks, Juanita. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Luanda. I'm the head of network performance at Vodacom. Vodacom is a leading telco company in Tanzania. Basically, we are offering a wide range of services for consumers and enterprise. This includes financial services like M-Pesa. I think most of the guys in East Africa and South, at least they know about M-Pesa and how it is integrated and changed the African lives. And also we offer data services, we offer messaging, and also on the space of enterprise, we offer a wide range of enterprise solutions. This includes point-to-point, fiber to homes, fixed wireless. So all of this is available at Vodacom. So basically, we are more like moving from a telco company to a technology company. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Wekesa. I'm the Group Chief Commercial Officer of the WIOCC Group. The WIOCC Group started many years ago. We started with a prime investment in the Easy Cable, about 30% shareholding in the Easy Cable. And over many years, we have invested in multiple cable systems, and that's primarily what we do. We're the transporter of all the internet continent across the east coast of Africa. And we have invested also in the west coast of Africa and what you'd call Arab Africa, or north of Africa, right at the top, and southern Africa. So we're a carrier of carriers. We run cable systems, and that's primarily what we do. So literally, I could say everyone here does use the cables that we provide, and that's why this panel is of great importance to us. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chidi Ajuzie. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of WTES project. WTES is an open access network infrastructure provider based off Nigeria. So we build open access ducts and fiber infrastructure, and of course let other operators like WIOCC as well come lease and ride on it. So that's essentially what we do.
Thank you. Thanks, gentlemen. And yeah, welcome to the panel. Emmanuel, I can't help but not start with you today because, you know, you guys have been in the press and you've made like a lot of noises, and I don't know who's on LinkedIn, but it's all over LinkedIn. And Joe, let me just first congratulate you also on
Thank you.
your 5G network. I can imagine it must be a tremendous amount of work that goes into this. And yeah, I thought maybe you wanted to share a little bit of that journey of like, how did you arrive here, and how do you decide on building out this network in the first place?
Yeah, thanks, Juanita. Yeah, I was expecting that, by the way. So, as you all know, it has been a journey in the whole data space from all the time when 80 kbps seemed to be a very fast speed, and everybody was comfortable with it by then. So we started later realizing that that age speed was not enough. We needed a 3G. We went for the 3G technology. And people started using it. There were very few use cases, and the content was not that much. But at least for us, we started seeing uptake of traffic year on year. And in 2016, we launched 4G, just like the way we have done now with 5G. And people were asking that, why do we need 4G? Because 3G is enough. I can download, I can view whatever I can view in the internet, and I think I'm okay with 3G. But little did they know that back then, the penetration of the smartphone, of the smart devices was not that much. So as time went on, especially cheaper smart devices started going into the market, the number of subscribers started increasing. And all of a sudden, we started seeing a degradation in the experience, especially on 3G. Now people realize that, oh, it made sense for Vodacom to go to 4G. Let us buy new devices which support 4G and migrate to 4G, where it could suit our data demands. Because we see that if we continue sitting on 3G, I'm not going to enjoy or get the same services as I was expecting. And thanks to these smartphone devices and even the content providers led by the social media evolutions, it helped the users to get the need to use the data. Okay? And as years goes by, we saw year on year, the data volumes were still increasing. Okay? But Vodacom decided to say that let's venture more into how are we going to send to help our customers in carrying this data traffic. So we came with the services for fiber to homes, and then we also launched fixed wireless, 4G fixed wireless, also for homes. That was around in 2019 when we were pushing for this. That was 2019. We didn't know exactly what's going to happen in future. But come early 2020, the pandemic started. So all of a sudden, Vodacom were ready because we had the infrastructure, we had all the fixed wireless, we were already pushing fibers to home. Because remember, families were forced to work from home, and the students were also supposed to work from home. So the demand for data was so much. But since we had already, we are ready with the technology, especially the fixed wireless, which was supporting the homes, we could carry all these demands. We could be able to address the requirements of our subscribers and be able to carry this data. But now, we are seeing now the volumes are still going up. So the experiences also start to become a challenge. And thanks to our beloved president, she has been advocating so much for the investors to come into the country. So we are seeing the demand for use cases, like for the IoT, is going up. Together with the already congested networks on the 4G, because of the data demands, now we see that our subscribers need something different. Okay? They need speed, they need latency, and the only technology which can offer that at the moment on the wireless point of view is 5G. So we are still pushing both. We have 5G, we have fiber to home, which we're still pushing to our customers to make sure that we meet their demands for data. So basically, it's the push for the requirement for data and the demand we see now coming for some different use cases from the investors and innovators is pushing us to really go for this 5G. Thank you.
Thanks, Emmanuel. I want to just go to you, Amit, on this. I mean, so obviously for me, you know, satellite communications, we sort of touched on that earlier today, has also evolved tremendously. From a satellite journey point of view, what were the sort of original, traditional applications, and how has that changed over the last couple of years?
Sure. Thanks, Juanita. So traditionally, if you ask, satellite were basically meant, very initial days, meant for military applications, and government were the one who used to, you know, fund it, and that's what the main customer were for the military applications, for the police networks and army networks. I mean, during the early days, there were lesser number of satellites, capacity was not available, cost per Mbps was so high that it was only the mission critical applications that the satellite solutions were being used for. And then came in an era where more and more satellites were launched. There was ample amount of capacities available across Ka, Ku and C band, and that resulted into cost per Mbps coming down. And then the private sector as well getting the solutions, and I mean they could able to afford, and that's how then it as well advented into enterprise. It was then being used as a backup solution to the mainstream media wherever the high availability was required. So then and as well that it went into the enterprise or the consumer markets as well, as the cost coming down. Like I said, today's price is for a 16 by 3 Mbps is sub $50 per month price. So those are the price that our satellite links are available now. So with that, here we are today with all the sectors. I mean, we as well support to mobile network operators, the MNOs, to extend their networks, their 2G, 3G networks, to the unserved areas or unaddressed areas where the mainstream or fiber media is not available. So we connect the cellular towers through satellite backhaul. So that's another solution that we are doing good with. I mean, the banking networks, so that's how it has been evolved, right, from military till the, now the customers are across sectors.
Thank you, thanks, Amit. And James, I have to, like, I mean, you know, come to you, and I'm going to speak to Chidi as well just now. But I mean, all of this terrestrial, cable, satellite, all of this, I mean, means absolutely nothing without you. Not true. Like, I mean, like how, what is your journey been like on this road? And have you, what sort of increases have you seen in data consumption? And how has this changed for you? Where did it all start?
Thank you, Juanita. Our journey in this space started 2010. The fast cable. It was not the fast cable on the East Coast. The easy cable was the cable that we invested in. The WIOCC company was set up to as the stakeholder for 14 operators within the region. So they came together, put in money, and then WIOCC bought a large stake in Easy, and WIOCC was running the Easy cable. But it was not the fast cable on the East Coast. There was another cable in South Africa. And then there was a CCOM cable. And that is where Africa started lighting up on the East Coast. On the West Coast, there were multiple cable systems. In South Africa, there were several cable systems. And up what you'd call Arab Africa, there were cable systems. And the earlier days, the customers and our shareholders were buying an STM1. That was 155 meg. Now, my previous life was in the satellite space, and it was about 3 megs, 5 megs, 20 megs, 64, and that was very big at that time. Yeah. It was extremely big, and business cases at that time were done on a company, on a telecom company having an STM, 6 STM1s, and that was their whole business, because they would take 3 Mbps for a voice channel. And that is how far it's evolved. Now, let's leapfrog forward. Where are we? We're talking of Voda, Safaricom, Airtel using multiple 100 gigs of capacity over a very, very, very short time. Data consumption has gone through the roof. Consumer at individual level, in my home country, Kenya, your provider, your ISP will give you 150 meg to your house. And in some cases, you'll find out a single user who is very critical to be online all the time will have 2 or 3 service providers. So you're talking of, fine, it's a shared service to your house. You're talking of 300 meg to your house. It's changed. The world has changed significantly. The consumption of internet is through the roof. The OTTs have driven the drive and the uptake of capacity. Voda, for them, it's just been a growth panel all through. It's just growth and new opportunities with data being out there. Generations are now creating products and services which sit on your device. This device has evolutioned and changed the world, because literally you have your phone, you have your camera, and you have your laptop on your device, and this is the consumer. And that's what is driving everything here. So in our space, having experienced both different types of technologies and understanding the diversity and the importance of what this has created for Africa, it's a very good space to be at, and it's a very good space to contribute for the future. Because there are multiple new systems coming up. 2Africa is coming up on the East Coast. We have Equiano coming up on the West Coast. Whereas Easy at that time was a 2-pair cable, and it was 11 terabytes. And at that time, everybody said, wow.
Right.
Now we're talking of multiple pairs of cable, and capacities are just infinite. And technology has evolved. So whereas Africa was dark at one time, Africa is now fully lit.
Yeah.
The opportunity is here.
Yeah.
That's the journey.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, if you, I don't know if everybody knows the many possibilities map that Steve Song developed over the years, and it's amazing if you look at how the cables have come and landed, and I think, you know, the 2Africa cable in South Africa currently, in a single cable, has got the combined capacity of all the cables that have landed before it in a single cable. So it really is, you know, this morning we spoke a little bit about build it and they'll come, you know. It's just, you know, I think Emmanuel said, you know, when you built 4G, people said, who's going to use this? Now you can't keep up. Now we're building 5G, and again, people are saying, where are the use cases? But it happens. And Chidi, that to some extent is true for fiber as well. But there's still always business cases that stack up. You know, there's always places where it makes sense. How does the business case then stack up for something like fiber? I mean, that's expensive to deploy. And will we ever see like a deproliferation of fiber networks?
Okay, thank you, Juanita.
I saved the difficult one for you.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so you know, sometimes when I look at the Africa's fiber map, you know, you see Africa enveloped by several fingers of, you know, submarine cables all over the place. To Africa, like we said, 37,000 kilometers of fiber coming into 23 or so nations in Africa and several other branching units. So the challenge has always been the offload from these coastal areas inland into Africa. If you look at every African country, the challenge is you have multiple capacity on the seashore. How do you take those capacity inland? So the business case for fiber has always been driven by who can afford it. And there are three segments of business that can afford fiber. I loved when I listened to the gentleman yesterday from the Tanzanian, the National Communication Broadband Network. He talked about them building a national broadband fiber network, 8,000 kilometers thereabout. Still insufficient, very, very insufficient. Tanzania is maybe 934,000 square kilometers. Let's say maybe half of that will require fiber backbone service. A lot of others will be uninhabited. So the challenge always is, how do you make a business case to build out this whole infrastructure across these segments and find a monetizable model around it? And if I use Nigeria, for instance, there is no government-owned national backbone. The backbones have been built by private operators. Today, you have roughly around 55,000 kilometers of backbone fiber in the country. For a country of around 930,000 square kilometers, that's somewhat insufficient. Base stations for cell sites owned by all the operators, IHS, ATC, Pan-African Towers, you're talking also under 50,000 cell sites. These 50,000 cell sites, less than 10% of them are fiber connected. So you still have a whole lot of quality of service issues around, using microwave to transport these services. So the business case around the national broadband space is strong. The challenge, of course, is finding the investments and the will to go there. On the metro space, you still have the challenge of operators finding the resource to build across wide areas. One of the things that has happened, especially with the regulators in my space, is that they now try to separate the operators. I work in a space where we are primarily licensed to just provide open access infrastructure only. So we are not permitted to go into the retail space. So that way we're able to focus on building out that open access infrastructure on a national scale and let other operators like the MNOs come in and build out the last mile. But one key thing that has happened in the last 1 year for us, for instance, which strengthens the business case especially for the fiber business, is with 5G coming, with 4G as well already existing, is that in the last 1 year, we've had more than requests of close to $10 million from MTN and Airtel combined to come in and wire a lot of their base stations. So sometimes the business model is strong. The biggest challenge is the opportunity to find the money and then to come and build. And then in the access space, which is on the last mile to homes, fiber last mile to homes in our enterprise, in our space in Africa, is still, I would say, is still an infancy. You do have clusters of gated communities where people still come in and look for sub 1 gig service to their homes, 100 meg service to their home, but that's still a far cry away. So the business case is strong on the backbone space and on the metro. For the last mile retail, I think for the operators who are in the mobile space, they have a stronger business case in that space so far.
He's still responsible to shareholders. Right, Emmanuel, you'll know all about that.
Yeah, there's no difference. In Africa, we are more or less having the same issues. As much as the policies and our governments are preaching about the digital inclusion, financial inclusions, but they need to create an environment which is favorable, okay, for people to be able to use these financials. We know our banks cannot go to the villages, so people depend on the mobile money to do most of their transactions. So the policies need to support that, those financial inclusions, so that everybody will be able to access and be able to purchase things. When you're coming to talk about the digital inclusions again, the same issues of right of way, it's an outcry everywhere. That if we are trenching on the same with the people passing the water pipes, why should the water pipes pay a minute cent? And for me, when I'm passing a fiber, all of a sudden I'm supposed to pay 1,000 times of that.
Right.
What's the difference? What's the difference between us? So it's an outcry of the same all over Africa. So you want digital inclusions, you need to find a way to support it. You want financial inclusion, you need to find a way to support it. All the numbers are out there. We are not, operators, I'm sure, not hiding anything. You can see if these guys are really deserve to be continue being cash cows, or are they really making money out of it? You should be able to look at it. Everything is open. You can check.
Yeah.
So people are not hiding anything. We're really welcoming. We need our governments around Africa to find a way to support all these agendas which they are putting up through.
So connectivity to be seen as a utility. It sits water, electricity, connectivity, can't live without it. Amit, closing words.
Yeah, thanks, Juanita. I would definitely like to acknowledge or mention a fact here, I mean, which was a good move for us as far as satellite industry is concerned. I mean, for past many years, we had we are talking on regulatory fees part. So there was for VSAT wise, there was a $1,200 regulatory fee per site for many years in Tanzania, and that was revised to a few months ago to $50 per site. So that definitely I would like to acknowledge, and we definitely are looking forward to, there is a big market which we are trying to now address, and then that is going to help in a good way. So that's my closing point. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I certainly don't want to be a regulator in Africa. I think it's a tough job. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Madan, I don't know if you want to take a quick question.
No,
Otherwise,
unfortunately not. Yeah.
That's
But big round of applause, please, for Juanita and the team of outstanding panelists.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much. We now come to our next panel before the final closing ceremony. And let me invite